Today, we are going to dive into something truly wild. We're going to connect two worlds that seem like they're universes apart: the strange, mind-bending reality of quantum physics and the very personal, very real world of your own thoughts and feelings. We're going to explore how a basic rule of the universe, the simple act of looking at something, doesn't just show you what's there, it actually helps create it. I mean, think about it for a second. Have you ever been in an argument with someone you love or had a really tense meeting at work, and you walk away feeling like you experienced a completely different event than the other person? The exact same words were said, right? The same things happened. But from one point of view, it felt like an attack. And from another, maybe it was just a cry for help. How is that even possible? If you're fascinated by questions like this, by the way, make sure you like and subscribe to Project Human. We explore this stuff all the time. Well, it turns out this isn't just some psychological quirk. This idea, it sits right at the very heart of quantum theory. In the bizarre world of the super small, and as we're about to see in our own inner worlds, looking at something isn't a passive act. You don't just see what's there, you fundamentally change what is there. So to really wrap our heads around this, we got to start with the science. We're going to lean on the work of the brilliant physicist David Bohm, who was a giant in quantum theory and saw this incredible connection between physics and our own consciousness. You see, in quantum mechanics, before you measure a tiny particle, it doesn't really have a definite spot. It exists in this weird state called a wave function, which is, you can think of it like a shimmering cloud of pure possibility. It could be here, it could be over there. It's kind of everywhere and nowhere all at once. But, and this is the absolute key, the very instant you look at it, the moment you measure it, that whole cloud of possibilities just collapses. It snaps into one single solid reality. The particle is now right here. Your observation didn't just find it. In a way, it forced it to make a choice. Okay, so particles exist in a cloud of maybe until we look at them. That's weird, for sure. But what on earth does that have to do with us? Well, this is where the magic happens. Let's build that bridge from the quantum world straight into your own mind. So check this out. The analogy is almost perfect. In the quantum world, you have the wave function, that cloud of possibilities. In our inner world, that's just raw, unfiltered experience. In the quantum world, you have observation. For us, that's our mental interpretation. And in the quantum world, that observation causes a collapse to a particle. In our inner world, it's a collapse into a story. Let's make this super concrete. Let's say your partner is quiet during dinner. That's the raw experience. It's a wave function of possibilities, right? Maybe they're tired, stressed from work, just lost in thought. But the instant your mind observes and interprets it, it can collapse into one single painful story. They don't care about me. And the moment that happens, it feels like the absolute truth. The philosopher Jiddu Krishnamurti put this so perfectly. He said, "The observer is the observed." What he meant is that you just can't separate the one who's seeing from the thing that is being seen. The way you look at something becomes a part of the thing itself. And this brings us to the most empowering part of this entire idea. Because if our observation is what collapses reality into a story, then what if we could actually choose how we observe? What if we could consciously choose the lens we're looking through? Okay, imagine someone makes a sharp comment about your work. If you're looking at that comment through the ego lens, your mind instantly collapses that event into one thing: a personal attack. And the story becomes, they're trying to make me look bad. That is now the reality you are living in. But hold on, what if we just switch the lens? Let's try on a systemic lens. Now, that very same sharp comment isn't an attack at all. It collapses into something completely different: feedback. The story is now, oh, there's a problem in our process that we need to fix. Same event, totally different reality. Let's try one more. How about a compassion lens? Looked at this way, that same sharp comment might just be a reflection of their stress, their insecurity. The story collapses into, wow, they must really be hurting to say something like that. The event never changed, but by changing the lens, you changed absolutely everything. So how can you actually do this when you're feeling triggered? It's a pretty simple 3-step practice. First, just get good at noticing that little flash of meaning making. That's the collapse. That's it. Second, try to give the lens a name. Oh, okay, I'm using my I'm not good enough lens. And third, you just consciously ask yourself, is there another lens I could choose here? And this applies literally everywhere. With your spouse, you can reframe what feels like rejection through a lens of their possible pain. At work, you can start to see that different teams aren't just being difficult, they're using different lenses. The legal team is using a risk lens, while the product team is using a speed lens. And maybe most importantly, with yourself, you can start to see that your intense emotions aren't the final truth. They're just interpretations, and they can be reopened. Now, when you start practicing this, you develop this incredible mental and emotional agility. This isn't about pretending things are okay when they're not. It's about a much deeper wisdom that comes from understanding just how powerful your own perception really is. And let's be really clear about this. We're human. Our brains are wired to collapse experiences into stories. It's how we navigate the world. So the goal is not to stop that from happening. The goal is to stop being a prisoner of the first automatic collapse, to stop believing that your initial hot take is the one and only truth. True wisdom, then, really is the freedom that comes from this awareness. It's the ability to hit pause, to see the lens you're defaulting to, and to consciously choose one that serves you and the situation with more clarity and a whole lot more compassion. Because in the end, the world you experience isn't just something that happens to you. It's something you are actively co-creating every single moment just by looking at it. And when you, the observer, learn to choose your lens wisely, that fixed, solid reality you thought you were stuck in, it just dissolves back into what it always was underneath, pure, wide-open possibility.